And I came here in 1986 to run it for myself, and I signed the papers, and I was owner of the Red Barn Incorporated. People come in here for the experience, more so than I think anything else. And they love the fact that somebody's actually taking the time to listen. Maybe you learn in proportion to how much you listen and care. If you can find that balance between doing what you love that isn't really work, that might pay the bills, and can resonate with people and actually to some extent help people. Without my customers, I would be doing what I don't love, guaranteed.
Good time to get an attitude rather than spring and everybody.
Yeah, we use well, that's what
used to do it for Pine Tree Camp.
The meeting of the MSAD 49 Board of School Directors called to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Boyden.
Here.
Mr. Cavalli.
Here.
Ms. Chesley.
Here.
Ms. Dumont.
Unable to make it.
Ms. Leggero.
Unable to make it.
Mr. Knott.
Here.
Ms. Kugelman.
Here.
Mr. Liberty. Here. Mr. Martin. Here. Mr. Bishop.
Here.
Ms. Rudnicki.
Here.
Ms. Tompkin.
Here.
Ms. Stella Lawrence.
Here.
And our student representative, Mr. Short.
Here.
We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the MSAD 49 Board of School Directors vote to accept the minutes of the September 21st, 2017 board meeting?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Ron, seconded by
Sherry.
Sherry. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opposed? Abstained? 1. 10-0-1. Citizens input. This is the time during the meeting that we ask if there are any citizens present that would like to speak before the board. Seeing none. Okay. This is the time I also remind the public of different initiatives that are going on within the school. The biggest one right now is the Hannaford Help School Dollars. If you purchase items at Hannaford for qualifying items at Hannaford, they will give you a certificate when you check out, and you can put that in. There's actually slots at the different Hannafords, or you can hold on to that certificate and turn it into your school. All of our elementary schools do collect the Hannaford dollars, and they do help, and they can raise a significant amount of money, and if they are the top school for that Hannaford, I believe they still give $1,000 bonus. So, and I do know that Benton has earned that on a few occasions, so that's a good benefit to the districts. I'd also like to remind everyone that our clothes closets are always in need. If you do like I did this week and clean out your own closets and turn donating them to the school, and what they don't use they will certainly turn back down into Goodwill. So if you would like to do that, I'm sure that that would be most appreciative. So, citizens report. Student report. Were you going to introduce our student,
yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Here we have Cody Short. Cody is a senior here at Lawrence High School. He lives in Fairfield with his mother, Kelly McAvoy, and Kelly is a junior high school teacher. Cody has successfully completed coursework in 4 major content areas at the A level, advanced placement, and honors level, as well as dual enrollment. His academic successes has earned him high honor roll status all 3 years. He currently has advanced placement, dual enrollment, and A level courses in his schedule. His long-term studying plan is to get early acceptance at Bowdoin and study psychology. Here at Lawrence, you've probably seen Cody leading the marching band because he is our drum major. and his efforts has netted him the highest rating given by the judges. You continue to serve in that capacity this year, correct?
Yes.
As well, Cody is involved in show choir, jazz band, and the pep band. This past 2 seasons, he's also been very involved with the theater productions, with major roles in both the winter acts and the one-act plays. So, welcome, Cody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Serving in this capacity for us.
Welcome, Cody. And then this is the time that you can give a report from the high school. So
Thank you very much. Good evening. We have great news to share on the student academic and athletic accomplishments at Lawrence High School. Last week, student and staff participated in our annual Spirit Week. As usual, we had several fun yet intense competitions. Our activities included a dress of the day, doorway decorations in homeroom hallways, pep rally, food drive, and floats. I am happy to report that the senior class swept through the competition, bringing home 5 blue ribbons. Although seniors won our competition, bigger winners were needy families in our districts, as the food drive brought in more than 2,000 items, which were divided by the local food pantries. As well, the National Honor Society was able to raise over $2,000 to support those impacted by the hurricanes that were very destructive in Texas and Florida. To do this, students and staff alike were bidding on which staff members would get a cream pie in the face at the pep rally assembly. A big thank you to all staff who committed to be bidded on. Congratulations, and a special thank you to Mr. Hersom, Mr. Frizzell, and Mr. Campbell for the winning pies. As far as athletics go, on September 26th, the girls varsity soccer won their game against Gardner with a final score of 1-0. On the same day, girls field hockey won their game against Morse with a final score of 9-0. Last week, the golf team completed their season at the KVAC tournament. And on September 29th, the varsity football won their game against Mount Blue by a score of 54-22. The fall season will be done in about a week or two. And on October 6th, field hockey wraps up their normal season at 3:30 p.m. The student body heard some fantastic news at the pep rally last Friday. Mr. Firmage, the MC, was happy to report that the state recently released SAT and science test data from last year. In English language arts, Lawrence outperformed Messalonskee and Skowhegan high schools. Then Lawrence outperformed Erskine, Mount Blue, Messalonskee, Skowhegan, and Winslow in the science. Further, Lawrence has exceeded Erskine, Messalonskee, Mount Blue, Skowhegan, Waterville, and Winslow in math. Combining all 3 categories, our school is ranked number 2 across public Central Maine high schools, just barely behind Erskine Academy overall. Next, students are attending school on a regular basis. So far in the school year, the Lawrence attendance rate is 94%, which is greater than the attendance for last year. And the Lawrence Marching Band is hosting a competition on October 21st right out in the high school football field. Lawrence is performing at 7:15, with ticket cost being $7 for adults, $5 for students and seniors, and a family of 4 is $20. Next, guidance has been scheduling visits from college representatives so seniors have an opportunity to ask the various school offers. So far, University of Maine Machias, University of Southern Maine, New England School of Broadcasting, and Husson have been in it. As well, guidance arranged for a trip to Maine Maritime for students to see the campus and to hear what it has to offer. This week, a representative from Finance Authority of Maine was here to speak with parents and students about the FAFSA and other forms on financial support for seniors seeking to go on to college. Students and teachers have been busy working and playing to make our school a great place to be. And finally, there are 145 days until graduation. Thank you very much. That is my report.
thank you, Cody. Does anybody have any questions for
I'd just
Cody?
like to know how we can get on the pie thing.
I know, how come we weren't notified?
We weren't notified, and so somebody dropped the ball with that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, Ron, if you're feeling left out, meet me after there and I'll buy you all. I think we were wondering about what we could purchase one. I just want to throw those. Thank you, Cody.
Thank you very much.
Cody, and just so that you're aware, we do not make you stay for the whole board meeting. It's up to you. You're welcome to stay, but you don't have to. And we
But you
don't.
are graded on that.
And we don't.
Don't
And we
grade it,
don't
all right.
get. And we don't get insulted if you do leave.
Okay. I will.
We wish we could leave.
Well, thank you very much. Have a great night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Mr.
Oh.
Gattulis, that band event, is that a co-curricular activity hosted by Lawrence?
Yes.
Why the price is different than it would be for any other event that we host?
I don't know.
So those prices are set by the Marching Band Association.
Okay.
Which
Thought
is
prices
not
were
main
set by
principles
us,
or-
That is not main principles. No. No.
But it's a school function, I thought prices were set by the board.
We're hosting marching band competitions. It's like the one act plays, we don't get the chance to set those prices either.
Okay.
That's the NPA.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
They're marching to their own drum.
That's right, there you go.
Okay. Moving on. Old business. We don't have any old business, do we, Dr. Baker? Okay. New business. First reading. Will the MSAD 49 Board of School Directors vote to approve the first reading of policy JLF, reporting child abuse and neglect as presented by the policy committee?
So move. Second.
Moved by Sherry, seconded
It was
by
really me,
Ron.
but I'll let her have it.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Eleven. 0, 0. Will the MSAD 49 Board of School Directors vote to approve the deletion of policy IGDK, eligibility for athletic and co-curricular activities as presented by the policy committee?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sherry, seconded by Tim. Discussion.
It's just to clean it up.
Yeah, it's to delete. Yeah. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? 11, 0, 0. Appointments? No? Will the MSAD 49 Board of School Directors vote to approve the superintendent offering Tom Patnud a position as custodian as his 90-day probation is complete?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Neil, seconded by Kara. Any discussion? All those in favor? 11, 0, 0. Committee reports. Let's start with facilities.
We met for the meeting today, and we toured the house next to the superintendent's office.
Do you want to discuss that a little bit?
I mean, it's an old house, it's nice inside, and I guess we just gotta have a little bit more discussion on what we thought would be useful, if it would be useful for the district or not.
So we'll probably want to have another facilities committee meeting to actually discuss
Yeah.
if it's something that we want to consider.
And then we met also for the board meeting, and we discussed ongoing maintenance of vehicles, about purchasing a lift so we can do our own inspections within the district. I think we talked about the school application. I'm sure superintendent had that in his report. And we talked about the snowplow bid, which I think we got a little bit more discussion to do.
Why don't, you know what, why don't we have that discussion right now under this committee, so that everybody knows? So go ahead and,
There was one bid submitted for all the schools for $107,000. I guess it does not include the turnarounds also there's an ongoing issue that's been brought up by the town manager of Fairfield. So I'll let Shelley's head more in contact with that.
So right now, there is basically some reciprocating services that go on between the district and the town of Fairfield. And right now, the town of Fairfield plows for us Bulldog Drive, the back parking lot, up around into the teacher's parking lot, and School Street. So that's what the town does for us.
Done for
And have done for more than 20 years that we figured. It's been more than 20 years that this has been an ongoing thing the town does for the district. Reciprocating that, I mean, and the district for years we've tried to do things to reciprocate with the town, with all of our towns. One of the things right now that we do is the town of Fairfield purchases gas and diesel from the district. They pay 10 cents a gallon more than what we pay, which is still a significant savings for them. And the reason we charge the 10 cents more than what we pay is because we have to maintain the pumps and that type of thing. Other towns, it is open for the other towns to have that same if they want to, the other towns in the district. We have in the past, Clinton has used it in the past, Albion I guess has used that in the past, but they do other things right now. Benton doesn't have town vehicles, so they don't. But the other thing is the district buys a significant amount of copy paper, and the town of Fairfield will buy their copy paper from us at cost. In the past, we've reciprocated where we've done some lining of fields for the town, for PAL and things like that. We've done some mowing, done some different things. So it's always been a reciprocating thing. But now the town manager in Fairfield has notified Cheryl that, well, it seems we've put this out to bid, that maybe they don't want to reciprocate anymore. They don't want to do the plowing for us that they do. So what I need from the board is permission to represent the board at the council meeting. We're hoping to get on the agenda for the next Wednesday's meeting. If not, it will be the following meeting. I will get on their agenda to discuss this with the council, because it would be my guess that this is coming from the town manager and the council doesn't know anything about it. I could be wrong, but I would like to do that, and I'd like to if we have to do the plowing and stuff for the back parking lots and stuff on our own, it is going to cost the district significantly more money, and if that's the case, it costs the taxpayers of the district more money. So we need to figure out where we need to go with this. Because we put out for bid for the snow plowing to try to save the district money, to see if it would be cheaper for us to put out, for bid than, well, no, it's for district-wide, rather than us doing it ourselves. We put out for bid to see if it would be cheaper to have somebody else do it instead of us doing it ourselves. And that's why this has come about. They saw that we put it out for bid, so they've decided that, if we're going to put it out for bid, then they're not going to do this anymore, or they're not going to. She says they're not going to do it anymore. So I want permission to just, myself, and I'm going to ask other.
Just listening to both sides here, it seems to me that they may be operating from an assumption that they're no longer going to be needed to do the plowing because we put it out to bid.
And that could be.
And that might be what this is all about. I would feel comfortable asking Dr. Baker to contact the Fairfield Town Manager directly and see if those two can sit down and talk and come back with a more up-to-date or a more concise issue, if there is an issue. That's just...
Well, Cheryl had contact with her today, they got a copy of what we sent out for a bid, and it wasn't in our bid, because there wasn't much of the high school
Right.
complex on the bid. So, but, yeah, I mean, that's a good suggestion.
I just think it would be worthwhile to take a shot at having our professional administrator talk to the town's professional administrator and see if there is a consensus or what the issues are.
Right, yeah, to find out what the issues are, I agree.
Well, did that already happen? I mean, how do we know that they've said that?
Because Cheryl had a conversation with Michelle. Cheryl is our facilities, our operations manager, and she had a conversation because Michelle called Cheryl. And then Cheryl finally got in touch with her again today. She's been trying to reach her for the last week. And and Cheryl had told us at our meeting earlier that that's what Michelle had said, and that maybe they could give us a year to do something else. And that was still a maybe.
So, but that was Cheryl speaking with her, so she didn't refer her, Michelle.
Michelle is the town
So
manager.
Cheryl didn't refer her to Dr. Baker.
Well, Cheryl's the operation manager,
I
so that
understand.
would be. So if Dr. Baker wants to give it a shot, that's.
Fact-finding mission?
So,
Do you accept a fact-finding mission?
is this something that Public Works has gone to the town manager about, or is this something that they discussed in town meeting?
We don't
No,
know.
it has not been discussed,
Honestly,
and
we don't know.
Bruce did not, Bruce Williams is the Public Works Director, and from what, what's his name? Not Scott, who was here, who's the other gentleman that was here? Rick. Thank you. Rick said that he spoke to Bruce Williams, who's the Public Works Manager, or Bruce's second, and they just found out about it themselves through this conversation.
I think I would agree with Terry that it would be best if we could have a conversation, because I feel like if we just go to the board that we're escalating something where we don't necessarily need to. If those conversations have not happened yet, then let's have them before we do that. I agree.
Okay. Is that what everybody wants to do?
Yeah, find out what the issues are first and
Yeah,
what the.
okay. Can try it.
Doesn't hurt anything. So, go big and have them clarify.
So what I would like then, because,
I'd like to find out a lot more. I think it's a lot deeper than that, whether it's a feud that Michelle has with you
Right.
personally,
Well,
or if it's a feud that the town has with us over our comments.
Yeah, that's why we
Right.
said
funding
Dr.
money.
Baker. Dr. Baker.
Oh, I understand, but I think I wouldn't necessarily attack town manager. I think it needs to go to town council. Okay, but she's got a boss too. I mean, he's our representative. I don't want to get in a bad relationship with the town because we're going to feud over money. Because you're talking a significant amount of money that we're going to have to pick up the snow plowing that they've done for 20 years. I mean, we're going to have to jack up their gas prices $1 a gallon, make up the difference. I don't want to get into those scraps with the town. We should be
Right.
working together to save taxpayers dollars.
That's right.
exactly.
And that's
So-
why we should have the conversation before escalating Yeah. into a feud.
But I mean, we all need to think about it. Obviously, this doesn't prop up all at once. We've got some money issues here. We don't need to be fighting with town Fairfield.
Thank you.
Should be working with them.
So Dr. Baker, do you feel comfortable going to talk with them?
Well, if you would be talking to Michelle.
Yeah, but I also think it's, if you report back, and then if the next step is that then
Yeah.
appropriate people need to go and talk to.
Well,
It needs to be quick, 'cause
it needs.
Yeah, we need
Well,
to
some
that-
of those coming. too.
So here, this was the thought, and I'll ask it this way again. We would have to get on the agenda for the town council. If Dr. Baker has a conversation with Michelle next week, if he reports back to myself and Neil as facilities, whatever, that And then I would hope that Fairfield representatives would go to the town council together and say, you know, to have a conversation if we don't get, if
So
we.
would you like me to set up a meeting with the town manager the next day or two, and then report to
Yeah,
the Fairfield, well, to the
well,
board?
yeah, report back in an email or whatever, so that
Then we can go from there. We set up a committee to go to the town and say, hey, what's up,
Right.
guys?
You know, because we'll have to get on the town council's agenda to have the discussion, because we can go up and say things in front of them, like somebody can stand up and say in front of them. But if we're not on their agenda, they're not gonna let us, they're not gonna have a conversation with us. So we'll just need to make sure we are able to get on that agenda if need be. So, okay.
Thank you, Dr. Baker.
Thank you, Dr. Pickard, that's fine.
We allow you to barter sand. You can barter.
All right, Ron, anything from vocational?
Nope.
Okay. Dr. Baker, have we been able to check yet to see if we can get a meeting over at the vocational center, or are you gonna?
No,
put
I
that? Okay. Negotiations. Tim, you wanted to
We haven't
schedule
done
a
anything
meeting?
yet. I think the negotiation committee should get together soon. I'm sure the teachers will be approaching, like to at least look over their contracts so we have an idea what we're getting into.
Want to set a meeting date tonight?
Whatever's
Yep.
feasible.
Just go ahead.
And we can elect a new chair and whatnot, but
So why don't negotiations stay behind for a minute after the meeting, and we'll schedule a date? Okay. Policy.
Nothing.
You're not policy anymore.
It's all right, go ahead. Go ahead. Nothing new.
And finance, nothing.
We've not met again since the last meeting.
And am I missing anything?
Dropout.
Oh, dropout committee.
October 26th,
25th.
25th.
Okay. Is that everything, I think, for committee?
Downstairs.
Yes, and there was
Okay.
Is that 2:45? 2:30? Did you send out an email?
Yeah, I
yeah.
can't make
Okay.
it. I can't make it. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, superintendent's report.
The first thing I'd like to remind everybody that on the 26th and 7th is the MSMA Fall Conference. And if you'd like to go, if you just sign up on there at the dates you want to attend, we'll be sure to get you registered. And there are, here's some sheets of the topics that
Are those final ones on track, or are they still?
I think they're still a little bit subject to change.
Dr.
And
Baker,
there's-
I'm sorry, but while we're still on the MSMA, we're gonna need, once everybody decides who's going, we're gonna need a representative, a delegate. And unfortunately, I don't know as I'm gonna be able to make it this year, so.
Delegate assembly is listed as one of the meetings on the back of the sheet. And I forget which session we did that in.
It's going to be on Thursday, clinic 3.
Right.
Thursday at 2
Yeah.
I'll be both days.
I vote for me as our delegate.
Yeah, I second it.
So you're interested?
I'll go both days.
And note the format has changed from recent years, and now it doesn't start with a workshop. There's a speaker on Thursday in the morning, and then they get into workshops, and the second speaker will be at lunch. So there are 2 pieces of paper coming around. If we need that many, but please. So,
Are you the speaker?
no, sir. Moving along to other topics.
Okay.
Grades, the elementary through high school grades met to do common district writing scoring. And several of our administrators participated in the scoring today. And I haven't really reviewed the results yet. We give kids rubric scores as part of getting them ready for the proficiency 1, 2, 3, 4 standards, and that scoring really involves everybody. It's not just English teachers. It's as much staff development for ourselves as it is achievement and certification for students, because all staff run through initial meetings where they calibrate what all the scores are on the piece of writing that their particular grade level is doing. And there are several types of writing prompts, and those rotate among grades as set by the Language Arts Committee. I don't know if anybody had any comments on that today? I think the staff have gotten to be very good at it, very quick. But again, to me, one of the main benefits is that when we talk about good narrative writing or good persuasive writing, staff have had a chance to look at sample papers before scoring, and then they look at the criteria for a 1, a 2, 3, 4, and they carry that back to the classrooms, and that helps us have more consistent expectations from teachers to teachers, teacher to teachers, about what good writing is, whether it's in social studies or science or English. The last 2 nights, as you probably know, we've had parent conferences. I think some of the principals will be reporting on the results of those in their schools. We also have held, I think we finished the district evacuations. All appear to have gone smoothly so far. And again, that's just part of our rotating drills just to keep ourselves familiar with issues. And this time we've walked off to other sites, the venues, taken buses somewhere, and those rotate in with lockdowns and lockouts, while trying to get us so we're familiar with how to react, so students have a general idea of what to do in a situation like that, but without getting so dramatic about it that we scare students or create anxiety while we're at it. And it's just a part of today's environment. And I would really commend all the staff and all the students from any place I saw, because from kindergartners to seniors, students have uniformly done well with that. And faculty have come back with reports they're very satisfied with the student response.
Dr. Regan, can I go back to the writing thing for a second?
Sure.
Is it possible to get samples of that? I'd be interested in taking
Sure.
a look at a couple of those. Because we do a very similar thing at Colby by department.
Yep.
We just kind of benchmark, and so it'll be interesting to see a couple of those writing things, especially in the upper grades.
Okay. No problem. How many people would be interested in getting that? 1, 2, 3. Okay. 2 seconds. Kara, and I'm sorry, someone will be. Thank you. We're going to be having an early release, I think, on the 18th of the month for Newsella training and NEO training. Newsella is really News ELA. It's a new resource that staff have had some training on earlier in the year. It has a lot of potential uses, but one of the main ones I think looking forward will be to give us another data point for reading levels under proficiency. Remember, proficiency requirements are going to have multiple measures and multiple opportunities, and it's a good way, I think, to have a standardized reading level approach that as students read more of the news articles that are in Newsella, it gets more and more precise about the level that they're operating at, and actually the computer turns up the right level of reading assignment to the students. And students are also free to go on their own, and I think already done a fair bit of experimenting, particularly at the high school level. And we're all calm and the drill is over.
Yes, I know what to do, I was scared.
And NEO training is running the computer system for student data management. And our primary teachers have not had a chance to have much of that training, and Newsella is written from an adult level down to a usage of about 4th grade or so. So for the primary grades, it makes more sense to have them doing training on the use of computers, which will be necessary for lots of uses. As the facilities committee knows, we just received confirmation this week that we are definitely going to be visited by the state school construction committee on November 14th, and they'll spend about 2 hours per building following a meeting where we'll go over our actual written applications, and then they go around and do the site visits. And I mentioned fall conference, and that concludes my report, other than news from schools. And I know that lots has been going on, and Mr. Wedge tells me that we're into robotics again.
So I was excited a couple of years ago when Carl and I were tasked out to kind of build the robotics program for junior high and high school, which has been exciting. So moving to Benton, that was kind of one of the things I would really want to get going at Benton at some point. So I've been working with our tech teacher, Lynn Hamlin, who also had an interest in that, we're going to start a 6th grade this year robotics club, and it goes along with the Lego First robotics team. So we're officially starting next week. We had an assembly with all our 6th graders yesterday just to see what we had for interest, and we have tons of interest. So we're going to get those permission slips back next week. We're going to get going because in early November we have the qualifying tournament for the state. So hopefully we'll be ready. This will be our rookie year, so they get a lot of leniency the first year. It's new to everybody. But I was excited to hear from Mrs. Hamlin that we received a large grant from the main Lego First. She put in for basically about an $800 grant, and they gave us a whole new set of robotics equipment and also the playing field. So it's about an $800 value that she put in for it, and we just found out we got it. So we're off to a good start, and we'll see what happens. So, and hopefully we'll expand that to different grades, over the years. Also, the Benton PTO gave each classroom teacher $20 to spend at the book fair over the past several days that we've had at Benton. So the teachers are very appreciative of that gift, and it's going to go to good use. And finally, I don't know if you've noticed in the papers, the high school was recognized for their academic achievement, but Benton also was also one of the most improved schools for our science scores. So we increased 23% last year on the MEAs. Our 5th graders take the science MEA. The state average is 62% proficient, and we scored 72% of our students scored at the proficient level. So it's a huge increase, and we're going to work hard to maintain that this year. So, thank you.
Thank you. Junior high has been busy, as mentioned earlier. Mr. Boynton?
Dr. Baker. As Dr. Baker mentioned earlier, we did have parent-teacher conferences. They were well attended, and as usual, 7th grade parents outnumbered the 8th grade parents because they're always curious and nervous about their student going to junior high, but I think their fears and nervousness were quelled by meeting with teachers, so that was good. Along with, we've had NUIAs, we've had our writing prompts, and we're going strong in the classroom. There are also some things they're working on to bring us closer to the community. We're doing some service projects. There's a number of them. In the springtime, Mrs. Patterson, she'll normally take her kids out and plant flowers out front, but right now, there's some more immediate needs. A couple of homerooms have taken to the task of collecting some money to help people that were affected by the hurricanes. I know one of our teachers, she has a friend that she went to college who actually teaches in one of the districts affected by the hurricane, so there's a personal contact down there. Another homeroom kind of found an idea online, kind of take off on it. It's like a lending library where people build 3x3 little stations here and there in the communities, and they put books that they've collected and on a corner or wherever, and they put the books in there, they donate them, and people will take a look and lend them like a library. It's in the planning stages. I think it's a great idea. Just to be outreaching to the community and working on reading, and if they have some ideas, they can take a book and read. But also Mrs. Laporte, her homeroom, as well as Ms. Fournier. It's October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also the 25th anniversary of the Pink Ribbon Campaign. So on October 25th, the students have come up with an idea to collect money and funds for breast cancer awareness. They're going to call it, they coined it 25 for 25, 25 cents for the 25th anniversary of the Pink Ribbon Campaign to raise money and awareness for breast cancer.
Thank you. Students at Clinton have also been busy on their reading skills. Ms. Warden?
To say there seems to be a theme going on this evening. The Department of Ed also sponsors a program, a summer program, Read to Ride. So we put all of our names in to the Department of Ed, and we had 2 winners again this year. If you remember, Jillian won a few years ago, Jillian Boyden. We had a first grader, Jayla Jandro, and a second grader, Wyatt Pelletier, who both received gift cards to go out and get a bike and a new helmet from the Department of Ed. The other thing that we're trying is I have a grandfather who is new to the building and very faithfully picked up his new granddaughter every day at 2:10, and we don't dismiss until 2:35. So the one day I went out to talk to him and get to know him a little bit, and I kind of joked and said, we love volunteers. Are you going to be, I noticed you're here every day at 2:10, would you mind volunteering, doing a little something? He said, no, not at all. And I waited a few days, and I went back and I said, we discussed this a few days ago, and I wasn't really kidding, would you like to do something with the kids? I said, absolutely. I said, they love to read, and what better way to get to be better readers is to read or to be read to. So he said, absolutely. So every day he's there faithfully at 2:10, and we have kindergartners, third graders, first graders who go down and read with him daily, and he loves it, and they love it. And we're hoping that kind of takes off, and maybe we'll have a few more grandparents who will come in and do that with our kids. So it's been fun. Thanks.
And at primary and Albion, we're understanding that habits of work are fresh in the plans.
Yes, we're in the process of realigning our school-wide behavior plans to reflect habits of work and to refresh our rubrics for behavior for both schools as seen in the district handbook. So we've developed proficiency statements to add to our rubric in support of our children's social-emotional growth. They're displayed in every classroom all around Fairfield Primary and Albion Elementary. These habits of work, or I can statements, were developed to align with our new proficiency-based reporting system, which promotes students' emotional intelligence. Each one is a powerful, positive statement to help children understand what they can do rather than what they cannot do. They'll help us young and old with a right fit thinking to make responsible choices in class, out in the playground, and all over our community. These statements will help us for a lifetime and can travel with us wherever we go. They are as follows. I can work hard and never give up. I can play safely. I can respect myself and others. I can make responsible choices.
Thank you, Bertha. Thank you, Bertha.
Excuse me, can we hear from the athletic director? He's sitting over there all by himself. Get him on the spot a little bit.
Everything's
What's
going
going on?
good.
I think Mr. Short already reported on most of the activities. We do have senior night tomorrow night for field hockey at 3:30. Football game follows at 7 against Brunswick. And on Monday, this girls soccer team will have their senior night at about 5:45.
Thank you. We can tell you've been talking a lot.
I'm trying to claim that as
I
work.
thought he was asleep. That's why I asked.
Follow along closely.
All right, thank you, Dave. Thanks. Okay, moving on. Will the MSAD 49 Board of School Directors vote to go into executive session to interview a candidate for the LJHS principal under 1 MRSA subsection 405-6D?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sherry, seconded by Neil. All those in favor? 11-0-0. We're going to take a 5-minute recess.